Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today I'm talking about the movie Dune Part 2. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. I might also mention some stuff from the books, like Dune Messiah, so if you haven't read those books and you're concerned about spoilers, thanks for watching, but maybe this video isn't for you. So, Dune Part 2, it's a sequel to Dune Part 1. Continues basically the first book, the first Frank Herbert Dune book. Um, what's his name? Paul. He becomes the Messiah basically, and kills Baron Harkonnen. I don't know. There's a love story with Zendaya. So as far as what I liked about the movie, overall the cast is great. Timothée Chalamet, I like him. I kind of made fun of him in the first movie, I think, because he's kind of small. He's a bit thin, and I don't know how tall he is exactly, but doesn't exactly look like a very physically imposing guy. I rewatched the first movie and I actually think he did pretty good with the physical stuff, and this movie as well. It's maybe a little unbelievable that he could beat what's his face Austin Butler in a fight, but hey, whatever. Zendaya, good in this as well. I like her. She's fine as Chani. Rebecca Ferguson's great in this. I think she's definitely a standout. I really liked her as Lady Jessica. Josh Brolin, of course, always good. I liked Austin Butler in this as well. I know he was in like Yoga Hosers, but I don't really remember that movie. So, Elvis is the only thing I really know him from, and everyone makes fun of him and says he still sounds like Elvis. So luckily he's not still doing the Elvis impression in this. That would have been funny, but no, he's more doing a Stellan Skarsgård impression, but it works. And it's a tough role to fill. Fayed is, Sting played him in the 1984 David Lynch movie. So yeah, big shoes to fill, but I think he did a pretty good job with it. I love Florence Pugh. She's one of my favorite actresses, just beautiful, great actress. She's always good. Dave Bautista, always good. I liked him in this. Chris Walken, funny, but yeah, good. It's always a little distracting with Christopher Walken though, because he's so Christopher Walken. But yeah, no, he was good in this. And I believe they actually mentioned "Walk Without Rhythm So the Snake Can't Hear You" in the Weapon of Choice music video that he was in, where he was dancing and stuff. So hey, that's weird. Anyway, Léa Seydoux, always good. I like her a lot. Souheila Yacoub as Shiskali, Shis, whatever her name is. Great. Charlotte Rampling, always good. I really liked her as the guy as Helen, the Mother Superior, whatever she was. And Andy Taylor-Joy, not in it much, but I always like Andy Taylor-Joy. So throughout, the cast is great. Stellan Skarsgård, of course, always good, as well as the Baron. Cinematography in this is beautiful. Craig Fraser? Yeah, Fraser did it. He did the first Dune. He also did the Batman, the Creator, Rogue One. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's got a very good, very striking, distinct style, and I really, really like it. Overall, the movie just looks great. It's a very visually stunning, very appealing movie. Special effects by Gerd Nerfser and visual effects by Paul Lambert. There's also really good set design, costume design, and overall the movie's just a stunning, visually stunning kind of display, and I really appreciated that. Music by Hans Zimmer is great throughout. He did, the first Dune, Gladiator, Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar. He does do a little bit of like the machinery noises, kind of clangy type stuff that sometimes I don't like, but in this, I didn't mind it. Actually, I feel like it kind of really went with the story and with the movie itself. So I enjoyed that. The humor in this actually really kind of stuck out to me. I'm surprised how funny it was. It's particularly Javier Bardem's character is just his whole arc with, he thinks Paul's the Messiah and he's like, it's a sign. Oh, that must be it. How did you know? That kind of stuff. I thought it was really, really funny. There was a couple things that had me laughing out loud. I was the only one in the theater laughing out. I felt bad. I was like, oh, am I not supposed to be fun? No, it's supposed to be funny. I'm supposed to laugh at it. But yeah, good stuff there. I didn't expect it to be so funny, but it was very funny. And I really like the whole kind of religious debate and the idea behind it. I always complain when there's religion shoved in a movie, but that's when it's like Christianity or like a religion that people actually believe. When it's a fake made up religion for a movie, yeah, that's an interesting philosophical debate. I like that kind of stuff. And we got a lot of cool stuff with like the people from the South kind of pretty much already acknowledge that he or are starting to think that he is, the Messiah. And the people in the North are like, no, we don't believe that shit. And I appreciate that. That was cool. The sandworm riding scene is really cool. There's a couple of them, I guess, but the first one with Paul is great. I really enjoyed it. It looked very good. It was very suspenseful and it built it up and the music was great. I really enjoyed it. The gladiator scene with Austin Butler, also very cool. I really enjoyed the fight and the entire setup where, the guys are supposed to be drugged, but then the Baron didn't drug one of them and all that stuff. Good stuff there. And overall, the story. I think the story it's a good story. It's a very interesting story. If you haven't read the books, it doesn't quite go at least where I thought it was going to go. So I appreciated that as well. As far as what I disliked about the movie, I like Zendaya. But I feel like she just kind of scowls the entire movie. And that's her character. That's what she's supposed to do. She's the skeptic. She's the one who doesn't believe in him. But yeah, just most of the movie is just her like just pouting. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's whatever. I think she's like a Disney Channel kid. I assume. I feel like she does music too. I don't know. I just know her from the Spider-Man movies. And in those movies, she kind of does the same thing. Although at least in those, eventually in the second and third movies, they let her come out and, develop her character a little more. But she reminds me a lot of the character she played in Spider-Man Homecoming, where she's just kind of surly and sarcastic and just looks pissed off all the time. So, and I like Dave Bautista. I think he was really good in Blade Runner 2049, but he just kind of yells a lot. And again, that's his character. That's the way it's written. But it's just like, all right, he just yells. That's his thing. Okay. Paul has too many fucking names. They call him Muad'Dib, which is the name he picks based on the little mouse thing. Usul, which is his like special name that Javier Bardem gives him. It's the foundation or something. I forget what it means. They call him Nisan al-Gaib, which is actually just the name for the Messiah or whatever. Kwitzak Haderach, which I believe is just a term for men who can do the Bene Gesserit stuff. Fedaykin, which is actually just like his job, I guess. That's the guys. They call him the Mahdi, which is also supposed to be just like the Messiah, I suppose. And at one point, the old Mother Superior calls him an abomination, which is what he referred to his sister as in the book. So yeah, he's got like 7 different names here, man, or at least 3 that they like use that are actual names and not titles. And it's like, it's a little confusing, man. Like I get it, I get what you're doing, but and when you're reading, I guess you got a little bit more variety in it, so you don't want to just see Paul all the time. But it is a little confusing when you're just like, oh wait, who is this now? Oh, we're still talking about Paul. Okay, cool. He's got 7 different names. Got it. The black and white stuff was a little odd to me, just because the whole gladiator scene is basically shot in black and white. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Why do we do this? I guess that was Craig Fraser's idea, and the idea being that on that planet, I don't know, something about the light doesn't penetrate the right way, or so like on the inside where there's artificial light, there is color, but on the outside where it's just light from the sun, there's no color. I don't know if that makes any sense in terms of like astrophysics or whatever. I'm not an expert there, but okay, it's okay. But it just kind of, I don't know, didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but it was just an interesting choice. Movie is a bit long. It's 2.5 hours, a little over 2 hours, I think, or almost 3. It's like 2:45, I think. It is a bit long, and it feels it. But that being said, it's an interesting enough story. It didn't really bother me too much. The ending did feel a little rushed, though. I felt like the beginning was kind of nice and slow and really taking its time. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, now we got to fight everybody. They have this big war, and it's like real quick, and I'm like, okay. And it is a little odd to me they were using like just conventional munitions, essentially. I mean, I guess it's whatever, but like I don't know. They're like, oh yeah, we have these nuclear warheads, and I'm like, isn't this like thousands of years in the future? I mean, I guess nuclear warheads are still very effective, but like, they didn't come up with any new things. All right, okay. Um, and it kind of doesn't still feel like a complete story because it's not really. I mean, Frank Herbert, I think, wrote 6 different Dune books. I think most people enjoyed the first 2 or 3, and then after that, maybe they fall off a bit. And then his son wrote a bunch too that I think from what I understand, most people don't like. I've never read them. I've tried to read the book Dune itself a couple times, and I had quit both times because the writing style is a little not exactly the style that it wasn't an easy read, I guess was my issue. And I do wonder if maybe this kind of would have been better as a TV show. I say that a lot, but it's a big story, and take a couple of years, take time to 10 episodes, an hour each, like. But they are making a TV show. I'll talk about that more. So then that movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve. He did the first Dune, Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Enemy. I forgot he did Enemy. I really like that movie. And Prisoners. All great movies. Honestly, I don't think you guys ever made a bad movie. At least not in America. I haven't really watched all of his French, whatever country he's from stuff. Written by Villeneuve and who wrote Dune on Sundays. That was one of his French movies. And Jon Spaihts, who wrote The Mummy, the Tom Cruise one, I believe. Passengers, Doctor Strange, and Prometheus. So yeah, actually, not the best record there for, but this is well written. It was based on the books by Frank Herbert, of course. Rotten Tomatoes on this one, critics and audience are pretty close here. The critics are at 93%, the audience at 95. They're actually, I think critics were at 94 when I watched it, and it went down one. I don't know either way. Most people seem to enjoy it. Budget on this one, $190 million. So big budget. It's going to need to make close to 400 million, $380 million to make money, to be profitable. But so far it's made 178 million worldwide, and 81 and a half of that was US and Canada. So it's pretty good. It sounds like it's probably going to make money, and it sounds like they're probably going to make a sequel. So that'd be cool. And there are some changes to the book, specifically stuff with his sister. His sister is like born by the end of the book, and in this, she's still, um, in her mother's womb. And then they do kind of a flash forward with Anya Taylor-Joy when she's older or whatever. And then they cut out the banquet scene, which is, I know for a lot of people, an important part of the book. You kind of get a lot of exposure to like what the political system is like here on Arrakis and everything, and they cut it out. I think part of the reason there was just because a lot of it's internal monologue, and that's, kind of hard to film unless you want to have a bunch of narration and stuff. So the next book in the series is called Dune Messiah. That goes into Paul becoming, sort of the Messiah, the savior, whatever. But also spoilers for that book. From what I understand, it's not really, because as you're watching this movie, I'm kind of like, okay, this is fine, but this is also kind of like the traditional white savior kind of trope and everything. And apparently that's what happened when the book came out. Everyone misunderstood it, thought that's what it was, and Frank Herbert was like, no, that's not what it was about at all. So then he wrote Dune Messiah, which sort of deals with the fallout of Paul being this Messiah, and that not being a good idea so much. So I'm curious to see that. It sounds like they are going to make it, and I'm excited for that. And apparently, Hans Zimmer said that at one point Villeneuve came in and just put a copy of Dune Messiah on his desk and didn't say anything. So I guess he's working on the score. I assume they're working on the script as well. And then they're also working on a TV show. It's called Dune Prophecy. It's going to focus on the origins of the Bene Gesserit, and it's going to be set 10,000 years before the events of Dune. Okay, it's close to me on Max. It's vaguely interesting. I don't know that I care that much, and I don't have Max, so I'm probably not going to watch it. But all right, it's going to come out in late 2024 for that. So as far as the movie goes, I think it's a really, really well-made movie. A couple minor kind of nitpicky kind of things, but for the most part, it's great. I really enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again, maybe not in theaters, but and I think it's probably, in terms of just actual quality, probably the best movie I've seen so far this year. Maybe not my favorite necessarily, but definitely really, really well made and very impressive and just beautiful movie. I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was great. But if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night. I will see you here again next week.